What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with the 47th installment of Black Girls on Television. Oh my god, so overwhelmed and stressed. Still trying to get over How to Get Away with Murder. We're going to get through both the quad and How to Get Away with Murder, and thank you, Jesus, that How to Get Away with Murder is on vacation. Okay, because I need some time to digest what went down. But anyway, the quad first. Let's get to it, shall we? Alright, you guys, so the quad. This episode was all about raising money for the university. Okay, Eva is having a capital kickoff party at her home. All the who's in Atlanta, Georgia are going to be there, and she's hoping to dip into their pockets to help the financial situation and struggles at the university. So she gets all done up. The band director gets all done up, brings some of his best people in his band down there. They're going to be the entertainment. Now, before we get into this party, all throughout the episode, we are seeing a certain somebody, we don't know who it is. They are editing a video. The video is grainy, it's black and white, it's surveillance looking, but you can tell that it is of a man and a woman in some sort of woods or park or something. You can't really tell what's going on, but it's quite sinister, so you know it's going to be something. So hold on to that. We're going to get back to that later. Now, at the party, everybody is coming in, and Eva is welcoming everybody. Out the corner of her eye, she sees that Jason walks in. Jason is her side piece. She looks over at him like, nigga, what the hell is you doing here? We get a flashback 2 weeks earlier of when she and Jason had just finished the tryst. She explained to him that she was having this party and he was not welcome there. Discretion is the word. She cannot have her side piece at something as important as this. So back to the party. She walks up to Jason, and the woman who walked in with him, turns out that she is a professor there at the university, and she's bought Jason because he is a grad student who is studying something. Don't even remember what it was. Okay, but the professor thought it would be good for him to come to the party so that he can meet a certain somebody else. Don't remember who he was. He was like, very, very good. You know what? How about I go and introduce him to Jason right now? She pulls Jason off to the side, gets him in a quiet little part of the house, and she was like, what the fuck are you doing here? I know I told you very clearly that you were not supposed to be here today. Okay, today is not the time for the games. You know, Jason, I'm all about the games. You know, Jason ain't never taking shit seriously. I'm not playing with you. You need to go. While she's chastising Jason in the hallway, her daughter walks up. She sees Jason and she likes what she sees, so she's kind of flirting with him. And I'll be damned if Jason ain't flirting back with her. I'm sure he's not interested in the daughter, but he knows that this will get on Eva's nerves. He likes to push her buttons. All kind of buttons, if you know what I mean. Once Sydney tells Mama to go on and scat somewhere, you know, and she can sit down and talk to Jason a little bit more. You know, Jason is tickled with it, so he sits down, he plays along, and Eva is annoyed. Eva goes off to the kitchen, but she can't hang out there too long. She comes back to the hallway. The daughter is just like, what do you want, Mom? She was just like, you know what? I think that it is time for Jason to go back to the person that he came with. The daughter was just like, but we good here. She's like, no, he needs to go now. Okay, and of course, the whole time she's looking at him like, nigga, get on. So the daughter is just like, fine, Killjoy, puts her phone number in his cell phone. And then she walks off, you know, like she just did something. And Eva was just like, you need to go. And he was just like, I ain't going nowhere. As a matter of fact, you need to meet me in your bedroom in 5 minutes. Now, Cedric, he shows up at the party. I was surprised to see him. This doesn't seem to be like his kind of happening thing. The guards at the front give him a hard time about getting in, but damn it, his name is on the guest list, let me in. So he goes on in there. We see 1 week earlier, Dr. Fletcher had actually gone to his dorm room and explained to him that she saw a poetry slam that he did on YouTube, and that she wants him to come to her party and perform that. He ain't really feeling it, you know, blue bloods, that's not his thing. She's like, I know it's hard for you, your girlfriend dead and all of that, but just think about it. I guess he thought about it, so now he's at the party. But he's at this party and he don't know what to do with his damn self, looking around like, why did I decide to come here? Eva meets Jason in her bedroom. Okay, he think it's time to get it on. She's like, I'm not fucking playing with you. All right, I was serious when I told you you didn't need to come. It is not a fixing to go down right now. Then you got the nerve to be flirting with my daughter? I really don't think so. Okay, you need to get the fuck on. Back at the party downstairs, I told you the band director is there, and he's got some of his best people there. The girl that was singing, she was good. I liked her. Anyway, he's entertaining the crowd, and then we see something happens. He get a little tight in the chest again. You know, he kind of walks off to the side like, tells his old band leader, like, you know what, go take care of the band. Let me get myself together over here. So he kind of holding on, you know. Then we flash back to 3 days ago. We see him in the bed with his girlfriend. We assume that who it is. Looks like they just finished having a good time in the bed. While they're talking, he gets that same pain. Okay, she was like, oh, did you get a second opinion? He was like, yeah, I did get a second opinion. Okay, and it was just like the first opinion. It's lung cancer, but fuck, I don't have time for lung cancer. We got a lot of stuff coming up that I got to take care of. I can't be slowing down for no chemotherapy and all of that. She asked him if he's deflecting. Okay, trying to throw himself into work, and he was like, listen, I know I should talk to my family, I should talk to my sister, but it's been 10 years I haven't talked to her, I can't do it now. She was just like, I think it's time for me to go. I said, what's she getting mad about? She ain't getting mad, bitch. She ain't the girlfriend, she's a fucking call girl. So when she gets out the bed, she gets dressed, he hands her the money, and she walks. I said, damn, it's like that, Mr. Band Director? I guess he's an asshole, he can't get no woman. Back to present, back at the party, we see Bryce, and Bryce is working the crowd. Okay, Bryce is going to be a people person. He's going to be successful. You could see it in him. He's talking to somebody about how Dr. Fletcher's daughter was his debating partner just yesterday. Flashback to yesterday, we see them two having a debate about something. I wasn't even paying attention, you guys. Oh, it was about black men being discriminated against. I'm sorry. But anyway, it looked like she won the debate. Now we get back to Cedric. Cedric is still uncomfortable. He don't know what to do with himself. You know, he feels like everybody is watching him. He thinks about how he wants to leave the school, how much he misses his girl. He sees Melanie over there. That is the girl that's in the band that's trying to get back on the first line, and, you know, kind of a brown noser, kisser upper. He sees her over there with the 808s, and he walks up to her and he was just like, you know, let me help you with that. Okay, give me something to do in this place. She gives it over to him and they get to talk, and he asks her, has she talked to the girl that got beat up, the one that she kind of buried the story so that she can get her place in the band? And she's like, oh, no, you know, I haven't talked to her. I've been meaning to call her. I was just like, I bet you have. The asshole band leader comes over and ordering her all around, and Cedric was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is what you doing? Okay, but she hurries up and hops to it, rushes off, and Cedric was like, couldn't be me. Now we see Melanie. I guess she's bored at the party, and she feels like she want to get a little action started. So she goes over to the football players that's there, and she tells them that the band leader over there was talking about him. You know, the football player was like, who? And she was like, him over there. She's pointing to the asshole band leader. Of course, now the football player has his eye on the band leader. Back to Eva, working the room. She's talking to a woman, I believe, who looks like she might be a president of a bank, trying to get money from her. She introduces her to the white girl, Madison, and she tells her how Madison is there on a full scholarship, and you know, what an exemplary student that she is. And this bank president, I think that's what she is, says, oh, well, Madison, would you be here if you weren't here on a full scholarship? And Madison said, absolutely, even though we know that's not true. Eva kind of sees that the conversation is going south, so she sends Madison away, and then she talks to the lady like, well, what the fuck is the problem? Okay, I thought that we was doing good. You want to give money? And the bank president was like, look, I'll give the money, but I need to know that it's going towards some black folks. Now, we're going to be giving scholarships to white folks around here, and I don't think I can do that. Okay, that was it in layman's terms. She didn't quite put it that plain. But he was like, okay, well, I see where you're coming from. How about we meet next week? Talk about it, see if we can come to some sort of agreement about this. So the bank president was like, okay, I think that'll be good. Now back to the band leader. He's rude as usual. You know, Melanie is trying to do everything that he wants her to do. Okay, but while she's talking to him, she slips in that the football players over there, points over to the gentleman that she was just talking to. She said, you know what, they was talking shit about the band. Said something about you being so good putting instruments in your mouth, they wonder what else you put in your fucking mouth. Okay, the band leader was just like, what'd he say? She was like, I ain't playing. That's exactly what he said. Okay, so now the band leader's mad. He looking over at the football players. The football players looking over at the band leader like, we gonna fuck you up. Band leader looking at them like he gonna fuck them up. Now she's smirking. I was like, ooh, she's a little trouble starter. I kind of like her with her old brown nose and ass. Now we see the band director's flunky, you know, the guy that does all his dirty work for him. We see him talking to somebody else at the party, and he's just kind of commiserating about, you know, that video that they thought was going to get Eva to do something of her daughter drinking and kissing the girl and all that. That didn't really do nothing. You know, he tired of the band director always trying to change his mind and telling him what to do and all of this. Okay, then we flash back to that morning, and this same gentleman is at an interview. looks like he was about to sign the papers to go to another university. And right when he was about to sign the papers, he realized that nope, his heart is at GAWM. He's wasted their time. He's sorry, but he doesn't want to leave the job that he's at, even though right now he's complaining about how they get on his fucking nerves. Now we get to another entertaining part of the night. Eva says that, she's pretty good at recognizing talent, and she has a gentleman at her school by the name of Cedric, who she believes is quite talented. She wants him to come up and do this specific poem that he wrote that she loved. Okay, Cedric, would you come on up? Cedric goes up there. You can tell he's still uncomfortable, but he is going to recite his Chirac poem. Right when he's about to start, he closes his eyes, tries to get focused, opens them, and starts up. He starts up with his poem, and as he's looking around, he sees Bryce's father. Bryce's father is talking to somebody else, and you can see when you read his mouth that he's saying, like, this is the nigga that I was talking to you about, okay? He ain't shit. I don't know why she got him here. He ain't nothing but a thug. It's a waste of time. He's going on and on about Cedric, and Cedric realizes that. And it makes him very angry. He stops right in the middle of his poem. And I guess he said, fuck, you guys think that I'm a thug? I'm going to give you some thug shit. So then he decides to recite one of his raps. Ain't quite like Chirac, obviously. And the people are sitting there listening to it like, what the fuck? Oh, my goodness. He's talking about everybody there, talking bad. It's quite a bit rude. Eva's looking like, oh, my goodness, this is not what we said that you would say. Like, what's going on, Cedric? But he goes through his whole entire rap. Then when he finishes, he throws down the mic, walks off. The father was just like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. That father is a jerk. Now, everybody is mad now. Some people rush out after Cedric. Then the band leader and the football player, they meet up together. I heard you was talking shit, nigga. I heard you was talking shit. The band leader way down here, the damn football player. I said, boy, you about to get mollywopped up here. Because they get to fighting, tearing up shit, pulling stuff down. Eva's like, oh my God. What started out as a beautiful night has turned out to be terrible. The flunky, the one that kept the job, he looks over to Eva like, oh well, I was cracking up at his face. He looks like young Jock to me. But he gave Eva like, well, you tried, sis. Puts his drink down, just kind of looking around at all of the chaos. Right when Eva is seeing the fight and trying to get that shit taken care of, one of the women that are there, one of the party goers, walk up to her with a phone. You can tell a video is playing. She was like, I think you should see this. When Eva sees it, she says, oh my God. Then we jump to see Sydney and her friend Madison sitting out on the porch of the house. Madison had been trying to reach her boyfriend the entire night on the phone, and the boyfriend was not answering the phone. So Sydney finally tells her, girl, that nigga is not really trying to be with you. Okay, I hate to tell you, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he is running game on you. He is avoiding you. It's over. It's not happening. Madison can't believe it. She loves her man. While she's looking down at her phone, she gets a video, comes through, I guess, on social media, and she was just like, oh my God. She shows the video to Sydney, and Sydney just starts crying. We get a view of the video. It's a man and a woman. Like I said, this is the video that we saw the person editing at the beginning of the show, throughout the entire show. But it's a man and a woman. She kind of looks like she's running. He kind of chases her, pins her down. Okay, and even though the trees is kind of hanging over and you can't see clearly, it looks like the man and the woman are having sex. On the video, there's a hashtag that says rough sex or rape. Sydney is crying hysterically. She says, that's me. So I guess Sydney was raped back in her old hometown. And the video has come back to haunt her. All right, you guys, how to get away with murder. I'm really trying to keep my nerves at bay. I'm trying to keep calm. We're going to get through this the best way we can. Now, the show opens with Connor running down the street. I'm sure it's a metaphor of him running from all his troubles. He's upset, you can tell. Once he finishes running, he walks up to the curb. He's on a city street. He walks up to the curb, and there's a bus coming down the street, traveling fairly fast, 40 miles an hour at least. I mean, he's right at the curb where the bus is going to pass. Looks like Connor's going to jump out in front of the bus. I was like, you can do it at this point. Fucking Connor, get on my damn nerves so bad. Right when he's going to do it, he pulls himself back. Okay, he can't do it. When he goes on home, or actually goes to Oliver's house, Oliver opens the door and he's like, where have you been? He's like, I'm running. Okay, for 2 hours? Yep. I also was trying to kill myself with a bus. Didn't quite work out. Oliver can tell Connor is upset. Why don't you just tell him? Okay, they're going to understand. Connor says they will not believe me. Oliver says, I believe you. And Connor looks at him like, yeah, right. At the same time all this is going on, Annalise is at an AA meeting. She's listening to everybody talk about their problems. And boy, is it one of them downer moments. Everybody thinks they not good enough. Depressed. People talk bad about them. They down on themselves, you know. And she's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, you just sitting here, you complaining. At this point, what else is there to life other than complaints? Who the fuck want to come to a meeting when everybody is just down on their luck all the damn time like this? I can't be in this shit. This don't help me. Alright, so just tell me what I'm supposed to do. One of the guys was like, have you ever tried meditation? She looked over at him like, I love when her faces would be like, nigga, please, okay? If she could have said it, she would, but instead she was just like, yeah, I'll try it. Now, the next day, they're going to court, and Bonnie has called all the kids to come because she wants them to show their support, sit behind Annalise, as a show of support for their teacher. So they get down to the courthouse, and you know, Michaela and Asher walks up to Connor like, what's going on? Why you been avoiding us? And he was just looking at them like, I'm not avoiding you. She said, yes you are. You won't even look me in my face. Like, what is the problem? Bonnie comes up and she was just like, listen, okay, now I need you guys to act right. I need this to go very smoothly. Okay, is there anything that I need to know? Connor's just like, yeah, you need to know that you ain't fixing to get Annalise off, motherfucker. She was like, look, I don't even have the energy today. Just go in there and act like you guys like Annalise. Now, they have the ADA up on the stand. Bonnie is questioning her. They're talking about the tampering of the evidence, okay? This whole thing with with Wes's body being moved and cremated. The lady says, yeah, I got him moved, and I know that was wrong. I lied about that, but I did not order him to be cremated. I don't know who that was. After they have a break in the case, Annalise and Bonnie and the kids are on their way back to Bonnie's house. They got to figure out a way to break the ADA. When they get back to the house, you know, and they're talking about it, Connor was like, maybe she doesn't have anything to do with it. But they can't quite believe that she doesn't have anything to do with it, okay? While Laura is looking on her phone, social media, she sees that Mahoney has just been released from jail, okay? And there's a press conference. They're very happy that he's out. His mother is excited that her son is free, but that's just one case that's done. They are still trying to find out who killed her husband, who shot him dead in the middle of the street. So after they watched a press conference with the Mahoneys, Michaela's like, so I guess she's on her way to kill us next. And Annalise was like, no, she's not going to kill us. They were just like, how do you know? And she was like, listen, Atwood is the weak link. We need to prove that she was working with the Mahoneys, okay? And isn't that what you guys want? Okay, we need to find out who killed Wes, right? Okay, then let's get on it. Now, real nice Nate, he goes to talk to the DA. And the DA was like, I saw you around the courthouse. Why was you there? Okay, was you there for Atwood or were you there for Annalise? Okay, and he was just like, I wasn't there for neither one of them. He was like, I'm working for something. I'm working on something else. And the DA was like, I need to know for sure because the DA's office got a whole lot of heat on them right now. We don't need no extra drama with you and your hoes. Real nice Nate was just like, listen, you either gonna believe me or you gonna fire me. You know, okay, nobody gonna get fired. You ain't got to go there. I'm just wanting to make sure. Okay, but why when you left the DA, he went back and told Annalise the Wi-Fi password at Atwood's house. How about a thank you? She was just like, All right. She takes the Wi-Fi password back to the house and she gives it to Oliver and she was just like, yeah, I need you to get into her Wi-Fi and figure out what she was doing. The kids are still trying to dig up information and there's a file on the table that Asher is trying to hide. Laurel notices and was like, give that to me. She opens the file and there's pictures of Wes all burnt up. You know, she kind of looks at it matter-of-factly and was just like, he doesn't look as bad as I thought he would. Puts the file back down. While they're out there talking, Connor slips off to the bathroom. Michaela notices, so she goes into the bathroom with him, and she was just like, listen, what is the problem? Like, I can tell something is wrong. You won't look at me. All right, are you mad that I took Asher's side in this whole thing? I mean, that's my man, but listen, we friends. Like, we've been through all kind of shit together, and I always had your back, and you always had my back, so I just need you to talk to me. It looks like Connor's about to tell her something, and then, of course, the camera goes back to the room of the kids talking. Oliver notices that Atwood received a few calls. Okay, she received a call on the night that Wes died, the night of the fire. She received a call the time that Wes's body was moved, and then also a call, I think, when he was cremated. This number is a burner cell, obviously. There's no way to trace it, but Annalise was like, oh no, Oliver, I know you can get the information on it. While they're talking about this burner phone, Michaela and Connor come out the bathroom, okay, and she just tells him, I believe you. And everybody's like, well, but what's going on? Okay, what's the problem? Connor looking all sickly. Oliver's like, just give him some time, okay? And they're like, no, shut the fuck up, Oliver. What's happening here? Why aren't you speaking? Open your mouth. Ashley was just like, you've been in there trying to get with my lady there. No, that's not what's happening. Tell me what's going on. Michaela says, Connor thinks he might have killed Wes. I said. So it flashes back to the hot night that Connor was having with Tom's ass, okay? They fucking having a good time. But of course, Connor, being the jerk that he is, it's a hit and quit. All right. He finishes. He gets dressed. Nice meeting you. He walks out. Then he realizes he doesn't have his phone. So he actually comes back in and asks Thomas if he can use his phone. That's when he got the voicemail. Come to the house. So he goes to the house. He sees some shattered glass on the floor. And then he goes downstairs and he sees Wes in the basement on the floor. Connor couldn't find a pulse, so he decided to do CPR. He's pressing on his chest, he's pressing on his chest, he's pressing on his chest, and all of a sudden crack. Then he thought, oh my God, did I break something? So now he's thinking he broke a rib and that the rib punctured his lung and maybe that's why Wes died, and that it's his fault. And he's crying and he's carrying on and everybody is looking at him like, what the fuck? Oliver takes up for his boy and says, no, Wes was dead before you got there. And Laurel's like, you don't know that, don't baby him. You left his ass there to die. Connor said, no, I didn't. I smelled gas. It was gas running. Whoever was there had cut the gas line. Bonnie says, listen, why are you just telling us this? And Oliver's like, because he was afraid of the reaction. Just like that, you guys would think that he killed him. They're all looking at him like, motherfucker, please. Oliver, shut the hell up, okay? Oliver is caping hard for his boy. Laurel says, you hated Wes. You've always hated Wes. So you know what you should do right now? You should just kill yourself, Connor. You should go out and kill yourself because that's all you good for. I was just like, oh, she is so fucking dramatic. Who do you hate more, Connor or Laurel? She's such a fucking sourpuss all the time. And oh yeah, you guys, that baby that's in her stomach that she feels so connected to Wes with, that damn baby is not going to be Wes's. Okay, it's going to come out a very light shade of vanilla and it's going to be Frank's baby. If she keeps the baby, I will bet my bottom dollar on that. Anyway, back to the show. Everybody is crying. Annalise is looking very shocked. Okay, now there is a crack in the foundation. Now the DA looks like he is now trying to get a plea deal out of fine-ass Frank. Okay, if you go on and admit that Annalise told you to do it, okay, we'll let you out in 7 years. All right, if you don't do this plea deal, then we gonna put it on your girl Laurel and you, and y'all both gonna be in jail for a long ass time. So sign the deal. Nobody will even know about it. Now back at the house, Connor and Annalise and Bonnie go off to the room, a private room, so they can talk. Bonnie is chastising him like, okay, you could have kept Annalise out of jail by saying what happened, okay? And he was just like, Annalise still could have did it. Bonnie was just like, don't attack her, okay? And Connor's like, well, you know what? Let's just ask her. Annalise, did you kill Wes? Annalise was like, Bonnie, leave the room. All right, I was like, oh shit. Okay, so Bonnie leaves out the room, barks at the kids, move out the way. They all try to listen at the door. And then Annalise and Connor have this real intense argument about the fact that Connor is a jerk, doesn't want anybody to get close to him because his whole life he hasn't felt like he was good enough, wasn't smart enough, wasn't strong enough. And now that he's an adult, he's an asshole with those same feelings and he's placing all the blame on Annalise. At the same time, Connor is arguing back with her. This is all her fault. Okay, that everything started with her. Okay, that he was dragged into this mess when her and Wes came up with the shit that they came up and did not even talk to the other students. Bottom line, you don't know how to take care of none of us. Okay, as a matter of fact, all your sons are dead, lady. You don't have your baby, you don't have Wes, and you are not about to use me to replace them. Okay, that shit was real tough. She said, listen, I believe that you did not kill Wes, but I'm gonna need you to believe me as well. Okay, so I guess they come to agreement that they believe each other. They come out the room, Connor looking like a chastised little boy. And Annalise tells everybody there, listen, I need you to forgive Connor. What the fuck? Really? Forgive him. Because we've all made mistakes, and if you don't forgive him, then he is going to kill himself. Laurel was just like, absolutely not. Give a fuck what he do. Annalise was like, if he kills himself, there's more blood on all of our hands. All right, they just still looking at him like, we don't know what to do. Connor looking all like this too. Okay, Oliver, you guys have to forgive him because you asked me to forgive you guys and believe you for what you've told me you've done. All right, so you need to do the same. I said, nigga, if you don't shut the fuck up, Oliver. Oh, get on my nerves. Later on, finance friend calls Bonnie. He tells them how the DA is trying to strike this deal with him. Bonnie says, do not do shit without talking to me. All right, she sees out the corner of her eye that Laurel's trying to slip out. Where you going? Laurel's like, you know I am still pregnant, right? I didn't get the abortion like you asked. I got to go to the OBGYN. I have an appointment. When she leaves out, Asher has the bright idea that they should just call the number of the burner phone and figure out who the phone belongs to. But of course, they're all like, hell no. Now, next we see Real Nice Day. He done followed Atwood to wherever she went, to some building. She walks in the building and he goes and breaks into her car. He puts a tracking device in on the computer of her dashboard, and he finds out where the car has been. It has been in New York. She was in New York right after Mahoney was released. So he calls Annalise and he gives her this information. And she was just like, well, I don't know how that helps me. I can't tell the judge that you broke into her car and got this information. I need you to talk to her. And he was like, she is just not going to tell me. She was down there talking to the Mahoneys. And she was like, all right, I mean, don't you have charm? Take off that fucking suit sometime and show your chest off again like you used to. I bet you'd be able to find all the information you need then. He just was like, okay, I'm hanging up. After Annalise hangs up from Real Nice Nate, you know, Bonnie walks in the room. Was that Real Nice Nate? You know, Annalise was like, we need all the help we can get. Okay. Bonnie was like, what if Connor's not telling us everything? Annalise was like, Bonnie, I don't really have time. You ain't got no vodka in this fucking house. Nope. Okay, damn. Jump over to Laurel. We see her with her little vanilla baby in her stomach looking at the ultrasound on the TV prompter there. And there is her baby, little boy Frankie. She sees the baby and she looks like she's hopeful, but then she also is not too sure. She asked the doctor, so when is the very last day that I can do this? The doctor said you have up to 24 weeks. You want to get an abortion, you got to get it done by then. On the way out, she sees Maggie. Okay, hey Maggie girl, how you doing? Maggie was just like, oh, you my friend now? Okay, you and your friends was real rude to me. Oh girl, I am so sorry. You know, I was going through a lot because I had just been in that fire and Wes was killed. And, you know, I just was real upset. But we ain't mean no harm. You my girl, right? Maggie is looking at her like, bitch, whatever. Well, I don't care who tell it. Now, back at the house, the kids are still trying to find it out. Like I said, Asher wants to call the number. Nope. All right, Connor says, you know what? All we got to do is put me on the stand. It don't say nothing about his rib being cracked. So let me just get up on the stand. I'll tell them what happened and they'll know that they lied on the report. Oliver's like, absolutely not, because then they're going to think that you killed him. Annalise is like, no, I can't let you do that. But we can't put old mean, confusing, rude-ass Laurel up on that stand. So now they're back in court, okay, and I think Bonnie is now questioning the coroner. They're showing pictures of Wes. He's all burnt up. He died by asphyxiation from smoke inhalation. You didn't see any other problems with Mr. West? She said, nope, sure did not. Bonnie said, you sure about that? Nope, sure did not. Bonnie says, okay, we done with this lady here. Now we want to call Laurel up, okay? The DA objects strenuously, back and forth. But the judge says, it's okay. Laurel can come on up. Now jump back to Real Nice Nate. He's waiting on the ADA to come out of the building. When she comes out the building, she's like, what the fuck you doing here? Are you working for the Mahoneys? Are they paying you? And she was just like, hell no, I'm not working for the Mahoneys. He's like, well, what were you doing in New York? Are you following me now? I did not lie under oath. I told the truth, exactly what happened. If you must know, I was in New York because I had a job interview because your girlfriend ruined my career. He said, oh no, your career was ruined when you signed my name on the paperwork. She was like, I know, I've been thinking about it. I'm trying to get this shit out of my mind right now. You ain't got to remind me. He says, look, all you need to do is tell me who is twisting your arm. You know they're going to find out eventually, and it's not going to be good for you if it's some crazy ass somebody out there that will not protect you. So you need to come on up off of it. She was just like, I got me and I'm going to look out for me the same way that I'm sure you have you and you look out for you, right? Don't follow me. Don't come talk to me no more. Back to the court case. They put Laurel on the stand and they questioning Laurel. Laurel admits that she lied to the police because she didn't know who to trust. And now she sees why, considering that the ADA had moved the body. But now she's going to tell the truth of what happened. All right. So she tells the same story that Connor told us. However, she puts herself in Connor's place. That she heard the rib crack and maybe she punctured a lung and that's how he died. She crying, she putting on a good show. When Bonnie finishes questioning her, then the DA gets up and he is like, oh, okay, Miss Laurel. So you don't lie to the court ever? Nope, don't lie. You don't never lie. You sure? Once they get to asking you that same question 3 or 4 times, honey, you already know it's bad news. She was like, nope, I don't lie. He was just like, okay, well, what about this time in Mexico City when you said that you was kidnapped, told the police that, Then you had to go back and recant and say, no, I was just lying. I didn't get kidnapped. Didn't you do that? She was just like, listen, it's a long story. It's way more complicated than you think. I didn't ask for the explanation. I just want to know if you lied, yes or no. Yes, I lied. Not good. Annalisa's sitting in her damn seat like, ain't this about a bitch? So when they get out of the damn courthouse, you know, the kids are just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you get up there and you know you got a problem with lying? She was just like, listen, I did get kidnapped, all right? But I had to lie and say that I didn't because I was protecting my father. So now everything is really a mess. So now the DA goes back and they feeling pretty confident. So, you know, they said that Annalise and them trying to prove that there was malicious prosecution, but that's not what the case is. That Wes was going to sign this plea deal, but he didn't get a chance to. He went back to the house, he got his ass killed. Hell, Annalise had plenty of time and opportunity to kill this boy. The judge said, you know what, you right. The motion to dismiss the case is denied. I guess Connor gets a bug up his ass, decides to go talk to the DA. The DA is in his office. He looks at him like, what the fuck you doing here? Connor says that he wants the immunity deal that Wes has. I said, oh, no, you're not about to flip Connor, are you? Everybody goes home and they don't know where Connor is. Well, Connor is down there with the fucking DA. Oliver finally gets in touch with him and he's like, where are you? And Connor says, I'm down at the DA. I'm going to tell him that Laura was lying for me and that it really was me that, you know, punctured the rib. They was like, that is such a bad idea. You need to get your ass back down here. You're not thinking clearly. We sorry, we believe you, okay? Laura, bitch, come tell him that you sorry, that you forgive him. She's like, I'm sorry, I forgive you. Just please come back. Asher is so fucking fed up with all of this. He's like, fuck it, I'm fixing to call this number. They say, oh, no, don't do that. At the same time this is going on, we see Annalise. She's in the car talking to Real Nice Nate. She was just like, yeah, you know, even though you're trying to help me and everything, it's hard for me to believe that you are not a part of this whole team to bring me down. Because Real Nice Nate had told her that the ADA was in New York on a job interview and he really believes her, that he doesn't think that she was getting paid by the Mahoneys. So, you know, it's just hard for Annalise to believe everything. They talking and Annalise get to talking about it and she's thinking about the phone and the calls and the DA's office and all the shit that didn't happen. And then she didn't put 2 and 2 together, okay, came out with 4. We know who did it now. It's the DA Denver. Jump back over to the kids. We see Asher, he calling the phone number. You know, they mad, like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm calling. So he calls the number, and while they still have Connor on the line, Asher calls the number, and all of a sudden you hear the phone ringing in the office. Okay, Connor is looking around like, oh my goodness. He goes and opens the drawer, and there is the burner phone. He picks up the burner phone, and he answers it, and the kids are all just like, what the fuck? Connor is just like, this is the goddamn burner phone, and he turns around, and Denver has just walked into the office. He looking at Connor looking at him. The kids are all on the phone. This is bad, bad, bad. Then we rewind, flashback to that night again. Remember I told you that Connor smelled the gas? Well, that's because the gas line was cut. When Laura walks into the house and she's looking around, she goes to the basement door, opens the door, and that's when she sees somebody running out. Well, that somebody is Connor. That is when the house blows up. Connor's running down the street high speed. There's this mystery guy on the phone in a car who calls somebody. We presume that it is the Mahoneys and says, yeah, I got it done. Got a little messy, but we got it done. Now that was at 10:14 p.m. Rewind back to 8:22 p.m. and we see Real Nice Nate and Wes having a conversation. This is when Wes tells Real Nice Nate that he's not going to turn on Annalise and that he needs to leave. Real Nice Nate gets a call from the police department. They want to know where Wes is. Real Nice Nate says he don't know where he is. He tells Wes, I'm hoping that I'm doing the right thing. Wes was like, don't worry about it, bro. I'm all right. So Real Nice Nate leaves and Wes calls Annalise and he leaves a voicemail message. And this is when the mystery guy attacks him from behind. That's all we see. Back on the present, the kids are all trying to figure out where the hell Connor is. Okay, Michaela and Asher try to put a missing persons report out on him, but he ain't even been gone 24 hours. The police was just like, yeah, we can't do that just yet. I'm sorry, that was Michaela and Oliver. Okay, at the same time, Asher is down at the DA's office. He wants to go and talk to Denver. They're like, Denver is not about to talk to you. He ain't got to talk to you. Asher don't care. And so he barges into Denver's office, even though the secretary said, don't you take your ass in there. So she calls security and Asher gets thrown out. But right when they're taking him down the elevator, he sees Denver walking into the men's bathroom. So he text messages Bonnie and he says, 3rd floor bathroom, men's bathroom. So Bonnie goes into the bathroom because, you know, Bonnie got a dick and balls in between her fucking legs too, shit. So she goes in there. Denver was just like, oh, I think you're in the wrong place. And she was just like, where is Connor? I think that you did something to him once he found the burner phone that you had. And the DA was just like, burner phone? I don't know what you're talking about. That's a good one. Walks out the bathroom. Bonnie calls Annalise and he was just like, yeah, Denver has Connor. He's scared, but it don't look like he's going to go down without a fight. And Annalise was just like, all right, well, keep me posted. She gets off the phone with her and Real Nice Nate are pulling up at the Hemwick. Looks like it's a hoity-toity, uppity, snooty restaurant, and Annalise is meeting somebody there. Real Nice Nate was like, you up to it? And she was just like, I'm up to it, okay? Walks into Hemwick, gets seated, and looks like she is having lunch with Mama Mahoney. Bonnie takes it on back to the house, and the kids are there arguing as usual, trying to figure out what to do about Connor. She was just like, will you guys shut the fuck up for a minute so I can tell you that Annalise is meeting with Mama Mahoney. So this lunch that they have, okay, is very tense. After they get through the pleasantries, Annalise was like, listen, I don't know what I've done to you for you to just hate me so much, but I'm just here to ask you to please stop it. All right, we done had enough. Mama Mahoney was like, in what world is it that I don't get to know what happened to my family? Annalise was like, please, whatever, lady. You know that you killed my son. You took my son away from me. She looks at Annalise and she says, that was a car accident, Annalise. We didn't have anything to do with that. Annalise says, and I didn't have anything to do with that. And she was like, you must think I'm crazy. How dare you lie to me? Annalise was like, if you don't shut up and listen to what I got to say, I have no reason to lie. I swear on my dead son and on your dead husband's grave, it was not me. Now, of course, Mama Mahoney doesn't believe that. She was like, that boy came out and went up to my husband and shot him dead in the street and then pointed the finger at my son. And Annalise was like, that boy? Oh, so you don't want to admit that that boy is the shame of your family, that black boy that your husband laid down and raped his mother with. You're protecting the monster of the husband who raped that girl. The mama said, that's not true. And she said, yes, it is, because you got a DNA test to see if that was his son. She was like, listen, I got the DNA test, but that is not my husband's son. That is the son's son. Not Wallace's, but Charles's. Wes is actually Mama Mahoney's grandson. Now, back at the DA's office, Finance Frank is telling the DA, you know what, I'm ready to take that deal. The DA was like, yeah, it's too late now. Finance Frank was just like, why? Because you got Connor? DA was like, why is everybody blaming Connor on me? No, I ain't got nothing to do with Connor. Hangs up the phone, walks into some dungeon that he got Connor locked away at, and is trying to get Connor to sign this deal. He will give him blanket immunity if he go on and does what he got to do. Connor was just like, yeah, you having me here is very illegal. And the DA was like, you're right. We can only hold you for 48 hours. Okay, but that's once we tell them that we have you in the first place. I'm going to leave you here, let you think about it. Now, we flash back to 10 years earlier, and we see Rose and Christoph, okay, that's little boy Wes, walking down the street, and they see Mama Mahoney and Charles. Mama Mahoney is talking to him, you know, pleasant. She's happy to see him. And at the same time, Rose looks at Charles, and she's very uncomfortable, and you can tell that Charles is kind of looking down in a way as well. When Rose and Christoph walks off, Mama Mahoney was looking like, there's something peculiar with this. Well, now today, she knows that Wes is her grandson. Annalise was like, so ain't that some shit? You let that boy grow up broke, poor, struggling, while you protected your rich, privileged ass son, okay, a rapist. She was like, well, that's something because I'm a mother, and that's what mothers do. And I'm a real mother sitting at this table anyway. And Annalise was like, yeah, I was a mother too. I had my baby, just came out dead. I said, well, damn. Annalise sure ain't mincing no words, right? Listen, lady, you took everything from me. My son, I watched his body go cold in my hands. This is all your fault. Mama Mahoney was like, I'm leaving. Okay, but you are wrong. You are so wrong about all of this. Now, Annalise, even though they've had that emotional talk, she actually believes Mama Mahoney. She goes back and tells the kids this. They were like, what? No, she's lying. Annalise was like, I don't think so. Okay, so now the angle is we got to find out who Denver is working with. Oliver is starting to get real, you know, he don't know what to fucking do. So now he's just like, how about we put some kitty porn on his computer, okay, and let him get busted that way. And they're like, yeah, if we got to put kitty porn on the computer, we got to find kitty porn. No, that's not going to work either, Oliver. Sit the fuck down and shut up. Now, the DA meets somebody in the car and he gets an envelope from him. All right, when he looks inside the envelope, you know, he thanks the person, okay, and was like, get the fuck on now. Well, it turns out that something was Wes Gibbons' phone. He takes it back to the dungeon where Connor is, and he was like, look, I'm going to plant this on you and say that you had it if you don't accept this deal. Connor says, what is going on? Like, the Mahoney's got something on you. You know that this is illegal, and this is very corrupt. The DA was like, listen, you going to sign this fucking deal or else. Tired of fucking playing games with you. Back at the house, once the kids leave, and it's just Bonnie and Annalise, she was just like, so, Bonnie, give it to me plain. Did Sylvia play me, Mama Mahoney? And Bonnie doesn't say anything. She was just like, wow, that obvious, huh? Bonnie says, I'm just saying, I mean, if she loved Wes so much, why didn't she protect him? You the one that's been protecting him all this time, and she over there with the fucking rapist. And look, she killed your baby. Annalise was like, really, that was somebody else? And she was just like, are you sure? I don't think so, Annalise. Annalise was like, listen, I got to get to some fucking alcohol. I'm about to go get drunk. Don't wait up. But when she's walking out, she's like, I'm just playing. I'm going to an AA meeting. But she doesn't do either. Instead, she drives to her burnt up ass home. She walks in. She's looking around. Okay, I'm assuming all the memories are flooding from all the good and bad times in that house. She goes up the stairs. I said, child, don't fall through the floor. Is that shit stable? But she goes in her room. She's looking around. She finds the firebox. She sits down. She puts it in her lap. She opens it. And she pulls out the picture of her and her dead baby and Sam. You know, the picture that she took right after she had the baby. And she's relieved. The picture is still fine. This is the only picture she has of her baby. And she just sits there and looks at it. I said, oh. This is when it's about to get real dramatic and sad and rough, y'all. Just hold on to your seats. Back at the house with the kids, they still frustrated. They can't get a hold of Connor. Nobody knows how to get to him. Asher has this bright moment when he realizes that he loves Michaela, and he tells her that there's no way he could have got through the year without her, that he loves her to death. Okay, he just loves her. I love you. He says it about 4 times. Michaela don't know what to do, so she rushes off. I think I hear Laurel calling me. Rushes off to the room, closes the door, is in there talking to Laurel. She's telling Laurel what happened. And Laurel's like, well, do you love him? And Michaela's like, I don't really know. I don't really know. That's the truth. I don't think I really know how to love. I wasn't really taught how to do it. I don't even think I loved my fiance when I just love the idea of getting married. So I don't know what to tell them. How was it when you fell in love with Wes? I said, bitch, that girl was not in love, but okay. She said she found out when it was too late. And what about when you fell in love with Frank, Laurel? How about then? Now, back at the Philly Police Department, real nice Nate is talking to the police officer, and he sees the DA walk in. And he was just like, where's Connor Walsh? Okay, the DA was like, don't be ordering me around. He was just like, yeah, you know what? You corrupt and you doing illegal shit around here, and I'm going to expose you. The DA was like, don't fuck with me or else you going to go down as well. And you fired, just in case you didn't know that. And then after that, him and that same Philly police officer walked down to the dungeon where Connor's being held, and now they're arresting Connor for the murder of Wes Gibbons. Connor was just like, wait a minute, what about my deal? And the DA was like, yeah, it's too late for that now. Connor was just like, wait a minute. Looks like Connor's about to tell him something. Next thing we know, we see them show up at Oliver's house, okay, with a search warrant. They're there to get that fucking USB. Oliver was like, how do they know about the USB? Laura was like, take a fucking guess. Your damn big mouth ass boyfriend down there flipping for everybody. DA's office get the USB. Now Bonnie goes and tells Annalise. Annalise is in the bed. She done had a rough fucking ass day. Bonnie was like, listen, the police went down there. They got the USB. Evidently Oliver had kept a copy of what was on your phone. Annalise was just like, oh God. Okay, there was a voicemail message from Wes on there. Flashback to the night when Wes calls her right before he gets attacked, and he tells her that she needs to come on home, that he can't let her take the rap for what he did, what happened to Sam, what happened to Rebecca. Just come home. Then we see Annalise. She's sitting in the back of the ambulance. She hears that message. I think at the time she didn't realize that Wes was the one that was burnt up in the house, and she erased the message in an effort to protect Wes from confessing to these murders. So they go back and they tell the kids what's on the USB. Laurel's like, so is that why you erased it, so it would protect you? And Bonnie was just like, she's erased it to protect all of us. It implicated all of us in that. Oliver says, well, the voicemail message isn't just right there, so they may or may not find it. Annalise was like, there is one way that we can all get out of this. Laurel's looking like, no. We're not doing that. But Annalise was like, this is what Wes would want. Basically, they're going to use the voicemail message and pin everything on Wes. What difference does it make at this point? Wes is dead. Wes was the reason that a lot of the shit had happened. Wes had been trying to confess a few times and just hadn't because he hadn't gotten around to it. So Annalise was like, this is what we gonna do. You know, Laurel, you never knew Wes and you don't know what he would want. I said, bitch, you ain't knew his ass either. A few times in the fucking bathtub and some tryst in the middle of the goddamn day, and all of a sudden you his main boo, bitch. Y'all go somewhere. Oh, she gets on my nerves. Now Michaela, she finally thinks about it. She feels bad for not saying that I love you back. Okay, so she goes and tells Asher, you know what? I don't know if I love you, and that is the real deal. That is the truth. I was never really taught, so, you know, it doesn't seem right that I would tell you that I love you just to be telling you I love you because you said it to me. While they're having that conversation, Laurel comes over and she was just like, you know what? I don't think this shit that Annalise is doing is gonna work. I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to do me a solid. Okay, they're like, well, what is the favor? Well, I can't tell you until you agree to do it. Okay, well, we ain't doing shit if you ain't tell us. Laurel's thing is Connor might have flipped, and the DA's gonna see right through Annalise, and they're not gonna believe it and shit. Even if they do go to jail, Laurel has this dying urge. She has to find out who killed Wes. In the meantime, while Annalise is down there with the DA, she's telling the whole full story, okay, about how Wes did this, that, and the other. Killed everybody, and that's what he's gonna find on the USB. On the voicemail, him confessing to it all. Wes was a violent boy. Nobody knew that except for me. I've been knowing him since he was a baby. That's why I had him, and that's why I protected him. What I'm gonna do real nice and neat for you right now is give this to you so that you can drop the case against me, because we already know that you caught up in this bullshit too, and it's gonna be real bad for you because I'm gonna keep coming after you just like you keep coming after me. So she giving the DA a whole lot to think about. At the same time, we see the scene of when Wes finally dies, and what a horrible, terrible scene that it was. I guess Peter Novak decided that he was gonna make sure you guys saw how Wes died, just to kill any talk that the brother man is still alive and walking around in Hawaii some damn where. Okay, so yeah, that fateful night Wes is at the house. He leaves a message for Annalise to come home. Right when he is talking, the guy attacks him from behind. He drops the phone. We're going to figure out if people heard the struggle of the phone on the voicemail that's on that USB. But anyway, the guy puts an injection in his neck. Wes falls down to the ground and is crawling, trying to get to the door. He's saying shit like, help me, please. Okay, and he's crawling, he's crawling. It's something that has paralyzed him, or partially paralyzed him, where he doesn't really have much energy and needs strength to even walk. So he's crawling. The man walks up behind him, flips him over. Wes was like, why are you doing this? The man don't give a fuck. Sits down on his stomach, straddles him. Wes opens his mouth to talk, and the man pushes a rag down his throat. Shoves it down his throat, holds his mouth closed, pins his nose closed, and suffocates the boy right there. It was a horrible scene, you guys. Wes had all of the veins and shit popping out of his head. His eyes was rolling back and bulging. It was very dark because you guys know that that's how they always film these scenes. But it was enough for you to see how tragically horrible, how terrifyingly real it seemed that they had been killed this boy. The man was almost smiling as he held this boy's mouth and nose closed. And it was just so terrible, you guys. I felt so bad for Wes, because it was a horrible way to have to die. Once he finishes dying, and he for sure is dead, we see the guy drag him into the basement. We see him cut the line, the gas line down there, from the hot water heater, it looks like. So all of this is playing at the same time. You know, Annalise telling the DA that she knows about the burner phone that Connor had, you know, that you got Connor wrapped up in all of this shit. Okay, you need to let Connor go, you need to let me go, fine ass Frank go, okay, and you take this case and wrap it up real pretty like, and I will turn my blind eye to it just like you gonna turn your blind eye to that. Next thing we see, Annalise walk in the door at the house, at Bonnie's house. Oliver's just like, what happened? Where's Connor? Annalise turns around and Connor walks in. Oliver is relieved. Okay, they're celebrating, glad that he's home. Connor is just like, where is everybody? Well, where is everybody? Meaning Asher, Michaela, and Laurel. Well, they're down in somewhere, and they got this big plan that Michaela is going to, I guess, slide sexily over to Charles Mahoney and try to get him to, I don't know what exactly the plan was to do, but Charles Mahoney is at the bar. Michaela goes over to him to flirt with him and I guess try to get him off home so that they can get busy. I mean, I'm sure that's not what was going to happen, but that's what they wanted Charles to believe. Asher and Laurel are over on the side looking while Michaela is doing it. Once she looks like she is going to get him off, you know, she nods her head to the bathroom like, come y'all meet me over there. They meet in the bathroom and Michaela tells them like, yeah, look, I changed my mind. I don't think this is a good idea. And Laurel's like, what do you mean it's a bad idea? And she's just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. But you know what, Asher? I do know that I love you. So she tells Asher that, and Laurel ain't got time for all the lovey-dovey shit in the bathroom. Okay, you ain't gonna do it, then fuck it, I'll do it myself. And we see the DA and Real Nice Nate telling the judge that they want to drop this case. The judge don't think that they should, but the DA was like, yeah, we're not gonna try it no more. All right, and the judge was like, okay, fine, but you are going to get grilled in the press. Okay, so that gets all wrapped up real nice and neat, I guess, as nice and neat as it can be. Then we see Connor and Oliver. They're celebrating that he's home safe and they about to have sex. And, you know, Oliver asked Connor to marry him. I was like, please, y'all run off and get married and don't ever come back. Shit. Back over at the bar where Laurel and Asher and Michaela are. It's like, I'm going to do this shit myself. She rushes off there like, no, that's not a good idea. Okay. She rushes out the bar. She sees Charles. He's waiting at the car. She's rushing up to Charles like she gonna do something. And right when she's about to run up on him, this guy appears out of nowhere. Hey, Laurel! Who is the guy? Well, the guy is rewind all the way back to 10:22 p.m. when the house blew up. Remember I told you guys about that? Well, it is the guy who had called somebody on the phone and said, yeah, we got it done. It got a little messy. And who was he talking to on the phone? It was not the Mahoney. It was Laurel's dad. Laurel's dad had Annalisa's house blown up. Obviously, the dad didn't know that Laurel was in there. But, yeah, the dad is actually the one, not the Mahoneys. I honestly don't think the Mahoneys have anything to do with that house blowing up. It just might be a strange coincidence. Laura's so thrown off by seeing a man and she's looking over at the Mahoney boy like, you know, like, well, I don't know what I'm doing now. Michaela and Asher walk up like, who is this? And she was like, this is my dad's, you know, employee, works for my dad. Well, they shoot the shits and everything, but yeah, Laurel is thrown off and I was just like, oh, Lord, it's the daddy that got this shit going. Was he trying to kill Wes? He didn't know that she was pregnant. Y'all, this is where shit gets it just was confused and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? But lastly, we see Annalise. She's at her AA meeting. This was also another heart-wrenching scene. And Annalise is crying. Annalise finally has opened up and she is talking about how she lost her baby in this car accident. I was very proud of Annalise that the snot and shit didn't come like it normally do, because y'all know that grosses me out and makes me not look. She was able to keep all her orifices in at bay, you know, but she was just like, you know, it was terrible. She lost her son, and she feels so bad because even though Wes wasn't her son, he was her son. And she felt like she lost a son all over again. And she's just crying. And you can tell that her heart is broken, that Wes is gone. I was just like, oh my God. The way the scene just faded off to the dark, and she was still just crying. I was just like, oh my God. You guys, the show is so fucking stressful. I have never been quite this stressed as I am on the season finales for How to Get Away with Murder. It took me an hour to calm down. But yeah, you guys, so many questions. Like I said, I don't think the Mahoneys have anything to do with the house being blown up. And now we got to find out what Laurel's dad's tie-in is to everything, which is ironic, right? That Laurel's going around blaming everybody and it's actually her. She's the reason. Well, at least her dad. Okay, but where her dad is her. So, you know, I think that is good that it's going to happen. So I cannot wait till she finds out that it's her dad that did this shit. But yeah, you guys, that is the finale. Season 3 finale for How to Get Away with Murder. All your questions, whatever you came up with, y'all leave all that shit below, y'all. We're going to discuss this shit today. Alright, you guys, that is it. Let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.